Hello, everyone. My name is Patricia Wagner, and it is my pleasure to be introducing to all of us a member of our community, Dorothy Wesley. Welcome, Dorothy.
Thank you, Patricia. It's nice to be here.
Oh, it's so nice to be you. To be you. It is so nice. I
It
bet
is
it
nice
is
to be.
so nice
I
to
like
be
being
you.
me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
Wait till
nice
you
being me.
hear. Wait till you hear about this woman. She is like a wealth of wisdom. And quite honestly, we did not have this plan. This is a spur of the moment kind of recording of a member introduction because she has so much to offer us that it would get lost in trying to combine it with some other segment. So here is her official introduction, which still leaves a lot on the cutting room floor, but here we go. Dorothy Wesley is what she likes to call a practical visionary. She is an award-winning best-selling author, attorney, speaker, deaf diva, and wisdom sharer. She has traveled the spiritual, metaphysical, esoteric, and personal development path for many decades and has become a powerful resource for the application of evolving consciousness, which so many on this planet are experiencing at this time. That's what our Living in Heart Centered Gratitude group is all about, right? She is now providing wisdom for the new reality through articles, videos, and podcasts. Doherty's modern day Oracle publications have been inspiring readers around the world since 2006. She is the award winning author of You Can Transform Your Life and How to Be the Real You, both available on Amazon, and I might add both of which I have purchased now, along with the workbooks that are separate but completed. You are just something else. These best-selling books also have companion workbooks available. Doherty also publishes a Monday morning mindfulness quote on social media each week and the Wisdom for the New Reality video teaching series monthly, which airs on YouTube and through her social media outlets. You can find her on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube at Dorothy Wesley. That's DARITYWESLEY. Visit her website at www.dohertywesley.com and also www.tamethatmonkeymind.com. And I want to hear more about that. Dorothy, the floor is yours. I'm gonna do you just take it and run with it from here. And if I have questions later on, I'll come back in. But
Okay, well, thank you. I'm excited to share that I've just started a new series called Navigating the New Reality. And the first step I feel in stepping into our new lives, under new timelines, and into what I call the new reality, which is simply a shift in focus from the external to the internal, from looking out there for our happiness to understanding that our happiness and everything we want is right inside of us. And so the first step in getting there to understanding that shift is to learn how to tame and train our wonderful monkey mind. And so the first Navigating the New Reality series I did was meet and monitor your monkey mind so that you could find out what that monkey mind is saying to you. So many people's lives are being run by their monkey mind and they're not even aware of it. And when we learn how to listen to our monkey mind, which is one of the ways to tame it, but first just to listen to hear what it's saying and what it's doing to us. That monkey mind is that internal chatter that is part of our conditioned mind. It's not who we are, but it's like that familiar voice within. And so when we meet and monitor it, we just journal about it. We just listen to it. We just find out what it's saying to us. And then we shift into monkey mind tamer training. And when we get to monkey mind tamer training, we learn, I shared the techniques that I've used over the years. I shared in my Navigating the New Reality series how I met my monkey mind and how hard it was having had an extremely traumatic childhood and how that monkey mind had a fantastic foundation in my life to just torture me for years, suicidal and so forth. And finally, I learned how to tame and train my monkey mind, which brings us into a state of openness, a state of clarity, the better ability to balance ourselves and to then step into more of our evolutionary practices. So those are my first one. My first Navigating the New Reality series is Meet and Monitor Your Monkey Mind, and then Tame and Train Your Monkey Mind. And I was so excited because I'd never done this before. And my first Meet and Monitor Your Monkey Mind, a woman who was on the Zoom said to me, "You've changed my life." So she said, "How to change your life in 40 minutes?" I go, "Whoa." So anyway, it was a value to folks, which really made me feel good, of course. So the Navigating the New Reality series is something I've just started. My next one is going to be the 5 Keys to Freedom, which I am working on now and will be up. So to learn more about that, you can go to my website, which Patricia gave you. All the mini courses are going to be there. So all that information is right on my website with regard to Navigating the New Reality. And that's the latest thing. I also post on the Islands of Coherence, which is now Connection 2.0, where folks of like mind are coming together and sharing their hope and their experience for the changing times that we're going through here. And so I post evolutionary tools. I support conscious death and dying in many ways. And business from the heart is another thing that I do. Having been a businesswoman for 35 years prior to moving into my wisdom sharing, having been an attorney for that time, that was business from the heart was one of the things that I wrote about. And I still write about on the Connection 2.0 Islands of Coherence for the good of the whole. So those are the things I'm up to right now, and I'm excited to participate in Heart-Centered Gratitude. I live in gratitude, and I'm so happy to share who I am and what I do. And thank you for the opportunity, Patricia.
Wow, I mean, you have just skimmed the surface of all the things that you do, and I absolutely love the posts that you so graciously share within our Living in Heart-Centered Gratitude group.
Thank
They're
you.
beautiful, but they are just a little inkling. Recently, because I think yesterday, I posted about that you would be one of our speakers in the Attuning Your Mind to God Mind series. And so I posted your resonance video that I found on YouTube. And
Uh-huh.
I encourage everybody to go to her YouTube channel because there are all kinds of wonderful topics. And these are short videos. I believe in short videos too, contrary to what I do, but but the shorter, I think, the more likely people watch them.
I
And so
agree.
you take a topic like resonance is the one I posted, but I noticed there was another one on oneness and all kinds of different letting go. That was the one I needed recently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And it's just beautiful. But I think you've started right where everyone needs to start. I know I began meditating decades ago because I needed to tame that monkey mind. I didn't call it that then. I didn't even know that was an expression, but it
Yeah.
was to calm the anxious thoughts that I was
Right,
having.
right.
And so to begin right there and taming the monkey mind is a great place for everyone to start who has any kind of chatter going on in their mind that is not conducive to their spiritual growth.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and so then let's see. I wanted to ask you, oh, the taming the monkey mind. That actually brings us an awareness of what we really are telling ourselves and telling ourselves about ourselves and about others. And
Exactly.
it gives us a chance to pull those weeds out
Right. And
and
I
develop
tell
the part
people
of us.
too that a lot of times, that's called, people have called it, demons. They can call it a gremlin. You can call it Bill, Sue, the committee. There's lots of names for that voice within our head, but it's separate from our ego. It's important to articulate the difference between the ego, because that's a part of our soul. The monkey mind is the conditioned part of us. And I kind of equate it too with what Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body. And he talks about the pain body, but the pain body is kind of a collective pain body that comes from humanity. Women have a different pain body because of the female, all the collective pain of the females that we each as a female gather. Same thing with the men. And that pain body is collective ancestral, whereas the monkey mind is pretty much our conditioning in this particular life. And therefore, the traumas and the dramas and the things that we've had in our life are what that monkey mind plays until we learn. We don't believe that anymore. I'm not stupid. I do think I am good. I am worthy. The kind of things the monkey mind, you're not worthy, you don't know what you're doing. Those kind of things the monkey mind says to us in judgment, or even about other people, of course. Then we learn how to tame it. So it says, no, that's not true anymore. Go away. Stop it. So I talk about all the tools I use to stop that monkey mind from torturing me. Although my monkey mind, having been working on it for so many years, has really gotten very, very used to me, and it doesn't do that much more. When I tell it to stop, it stops, and when I tell it to go away, it goes away. And but it takes training, because it doesn't do that when you're first learning how to do it. It takes a little bit of while.
It does. It takes practice, practice, practice.
It does
Over
indeed.
and over again.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
Because
does.
we have been conditioned for decades, usually,
Yes,
from
yes.
a childhood when we were ingesting all of
Right,
this stuff,
right.
beliefs that are not true about ourselves
Yeah,
and so on. So to undo all of that, it does take practice, practice,
it
practice
does. It does.
with a consistent intention
And it's a
to
wonderful
make
way to start to clear
yeah,
yourself. And
yeah.
if you want to find out if you got a monkey mind, all you have to do is start meditating. When
Yeah.
you start meditating, you go, oh, what is that? It's
You
not
watch
hard to
all
find, in my opinion. It's always there, but it's a matter of beginning to recognize it, of course. So, but
yeah.
I think that's kind of the first step in our evolution at this point, in our spiritual evolution. We've come so far that I feel like this is the next step, which leads us into our evolutionary tools. As we tame that monkey mind, we're more able to bring that love and the gratitude and the compassion, all the change that we really want to be in the world. Those things come forth when you can stop the monkey mind, and it gives you a clearer channel to make better decisions
It's
about your
obvious to
life,
me
who to
that
trust and what to do. And yeah,
yeah, it's obvious to me that you have tamed that monkey mind within
oh,
yourself.
I
And I
am
am amazed that, and I want to ask you, working as an attorney for several decades, right?
30,
I would
35, 35
imagine,
years. Yeah,
I
35
would
years.
imagine that
Yeah.
that was probably the one of the most challenging environments that you had to
I was
tame
a
that
I was
monkey
a
mind. So how did
privacy, yeah, I was a privacy information security lawyer and information and intellectual property. So those were the three. I was a business lawyer as opposed to the lawyer that went to court and did that kind of stuff. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do business. And so that's what I did. I became a corporate attorney. I was a corporate attorney for 20 years. Then I founded my own firm called Privacy Solutions. And then I founded the Lotus Law Center. So practicing a new kind of law, which gave me the ability to put my energy of who I am, the metaphysical, esoteric, personal development path into being a lawyer and working with clients. And pretty soon I moved into being the lawyer for a lot of folks who are inventing new technologies in the medical world, sound healing, light healing, these kind of new age. They were new age then, of course, but now they're the new kinds of medical treatments and so forth. So I had a lot of opportunity to do lawyering in that way, which was, a very good opportunity. I really enjoyed my legal life, and it was fun to find people who could see who I was. Then would made a lot of good contacts. It was an interesting experience.
which led you right into your series on heart and business, right?
It
I mean, it
did,
really
yes,
totally
yeah,
prepared you for
right,
that.
right. One of my first
Yeah.
ones that I wrote was called "Do Business and Forgiveness Go Together?"
Oh,
And that is a really heavy perspective. I remember the first time I presented that to a group of business people, and my heart was coming out of my chest. It was just short. It was like a 10-minute talk, but I was like, oh, I was. I wasn't sure they were going to get it. And then at the reception afterwards, I had several people come up to me and say, "Oh, that was so good." And I'm like, "Yay!" It worked because it was different, I thought. And so now, but that was years ago, and now and now I think people get it much more now because there's so much more awakening going on than there was back then.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So all of that, laying the groundwork, pulling the weeds, and all of that stuff that you've been doing, not only on yourself, but for everyone else by
Yeah,
sharing,
yeah,
has really paid huge dividends for
yeah,
all the work that all of us are contributing. It really is showing up energetically. They're proving it. The Earth's frequency is actually
yeah.
rising,
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
it's 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 determinable by
It is. It
yeah.
truly is. Yes.
Yeah. So I want to, I mean, I want to remind people, go to her YouTube channel, Dorothy Wesley, and these little vignettes of videos that she has on different topics, they're priceless. So listen to those if you would. But also, I want to ask you a little bit, Dorothy, about this Death Diva that you are planning to do in your next book, whatever it's, if you want to say what it's, the book title is.
The book I'm working on right now is called "No One's Getting Out of Here Alive, Including You." And it's kind of a practical guide to death and dying, but it's really on the conscious deathing perspective. There's so much, there's so much to experience right now within the death framework. I find that 20-year-olds are talking about this in a very conscious way, and that gives me so much hope because I think we need to flatten the button with regard to our fear of death and dying. When we look at the past, we see that talking about death or anything to do with it was was taboo, not something we should talk about. Oh no, no, no. And it's still, I think, with a lot of people, well, better to be alive than dead. We don't know. We come to the present time now, and we're much more open and finding out more with quantum theory and the movement into awakening in our evolutionary experience that we're having now. We're becoming more conscious of consciousness itself. And as we move into the future, I think that we are going to see ourselves so much more impacted by consciously dying. I happen to be an advocate for medical aid in dying. I happen to be an advocate for the right to die, the right to choose. There's a lot of legislation that's going on out there in the world right now, or at least in the United States. We've got 11 states that have authorized medical aid in dying, and I work with Compassion and Choices as an advocate, which is a wonderful organization. And I'm also supporting those who are death doulas. There's many people that are talking about supporting people in their final moments. I have done it in my life. I've done it with every family member. My sister died in my arms, and that was really, really tough. But it was also so spiritual and so consuming for both of us. And there wasn't anybody, her and I. And it was just very powerful. And it gave me the ability to support her in her next journey, as I did with my mother and my father and lots of friends that I've supported in that process. And so I'm all about educating folks more about the death and dying process and about the physical part of it too, because there's so much that we don't know. And so I call myself a death diva, mostly because it precipitates conversation and I can share thoughts and ideas. And as folks join in, then there's a good dimension. I've talked to people before they were going to die. I've counseled with people who were contemplating, how do we think and look at the afterlife? We have so much empirical evidence nowadays because we have so many near-death experiences. And those near death experiences give us a glimpse into the afterlife. And whether you believe there's something or nothing, I think the most important thing is we be curious. And that's what I counsel to be, is be curious. What's it going to be? But to contemplate death is to help us. This is something the Dalai Lama says, is that to contemplate death and to not be afraid of death supports us in living a fuller life now because we're not afraid of that. We can live fully because we know that there's a transition. And so that's why I'm the death diva.
and a wonderful guide you are. Boy, just everyone can just see some of the wisdom that's pouring out of this woman. So, uh, Doherty, you are such a valuable asset in our community,
Thank you.
and I just really am so appreciative of your contributions. We have so many members in our community who are contributing their gifts as well. But I wanted to ask you um, if there were any last words that you had and would like to share with our group before we close our member introductions, this extemporaneous member introductions.
I'd just like to share that I think you are phenomenal. I think that I love a heart-centered gratitude and the postings and the community that you're building here. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it. And I love being here and I love being with you and meeting you. And I look forward to much more together. And I love that there's so much interaction with our members too. That's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our members that make our group,
Yeah.
and you certainly are one of the most valuable ones in it. And I praise you for all the work that you're doing out in the world. You're blessing each and every one of us by doing it. So
Thank you.
until the next time that we have another conversation, I say bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you.